Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruchim Abam. We're continuing Mishnah Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Tzadi Aleph. We're up to Seif Gimel. Revisiting what we said yesterday, where the Mechaber said that it is asur to daven until you cover your heart. The Mishnah says V'hu adin l'chol gufay, which means it is asur to daven. It is not that it's ideal to daven with full pants or a full shirt. It is asur to daven if you're wearing, let's say, shorts or a short sleeve shirt that does not go, at least cover up to your elbow. Not that it's better to daven with a long sleeve shirt. You are not allowed to daven if your body, your top part of your body is uncovered. So, regarding a short sleeve shirt, Rav Ovadia Hodaya, Shal Shuvas Yaskel Avdi, writes, you cannot daven in it l'chadchila. Even though earlier in Siman and Gimel Seif Gimel it says that someone whose garment is torn and his arms are uncovered, he should not be a chazan, which is mashma you could daven. That's talking about a poor person who doesn't have another garment. Okay, so bottom line is one's entire body should be covered for davening. Fine, we're up to Seif Gimel. Yesh Amrim. There's a Yesh Amrim. This Yesh Amrim is Rabbeinu Yerucham. You're not allowed to say Hashem's name with your head uncovered. Now, just because the Mechaber says it as a Yesh Amrim, it's only because it's found in a Rishain, but it doesn't mean that other Rishainim dispute this. Some say you should protest not to allow people to enter a shul with an uncovered, a bare head. It says the Bir Halacha that this is a stira because we said in Siman Beis, even if you don't mention Hashem's name, even not in a Beis HaKnesses, you're not allowed to go Dalet Amais. Yeah? So in other words, it's a stira. Here we say you're not allowed to say Hashem's name, or you're not allowed to enter a shul, Begilei Haroish. In Seif Beis, it says you can't go anywhere, Begilei Haroish. So I would have said, Seif Beis is talking about walking. You can't walk anywhere, but if you're stationary, you could be Begilei Haroish. However, if you're saying Hashem's name, or you're in a shul, even stationary, it's a problem. But the Ber Heitev answers that Sivan Beis is Midas Chasidus. But Me'ikar Hadin, it's only when you say Hashem's name or when you enter a shul. And that's the minhag of Sfardim for many generations. That there's no prohibition, they go Begilei Haroish unless they're in a shul or they're davening. You know, we Ashkenazim, we're used to never going uncovered, our head uncovered. However, it is not Me'ikar Hadin, there's no Ikar Hadin requirement. However, there's a Taz. The Taz says that since Gentiles go Begilei Haroish, so it's an issue of B'chukoseim lo seilechu. That's only an issue for Arei Ashkenaz. The Taz lived in Arei Ashkenaz. That was Chukoseim Shel Goyim by Ashkenazim. By Sfardim, there is no halachic imperative not to go in the street with the head uncovered. I'll tell you a little secret. There were Chachamim among the Olam HaSfardi who did not cover their heads when they went outside. There were such Chachamim. In any event, so that's the way the Ber Heitev learns. The way the Ber Heitev learns is that covering your head in general is Midas Chasidus, but to say Hashem's name or in a shul, that's Me'ikar Hadin. However, the Ber Halacha says the answer, the Pri Megadim. And the answer Pri Megadim is, I think, what I suggested, that earlier on in Seif Beis is you're not allowed to walk Dalet Amos Begilei Haroish. But now we're talking about staying stationary. Staying stationary is okay, unless you want to say Hashem's name, or you're in a shul. However, the Ber Halacha says, look earlier that I brought the name of the Taz, that in our times, Zanenu, it is Asr B'chol Makom Midina, Afilu Pachas Midalet Amos. Nowadays you cannot go Begilei Haroish. And the reason for that is, it's an issue of B'chukoseim lo seilechu. If somebody has a job, they're an attorney, they're a doctor, and it affects their parnasa. So Rav Moshe discusses what is the imperative of this taz. Fine. Weiter. Sif Daled. Koivaim. Some kind of hat. Kapel abalaz. A yarmulke. Hakluim mikash. That is braided from straw. Chashiva kisoi. That's a cover. As flimsy as it may be, it's a cover. Aval hanochas yad ala roish, putting your hand on your head, loy chashiva kisoi, that's not a cover. V'em acher maniach yad ala roish shozeh, if Ruvain puts his hand on Shimon, mashma the chashiva kisoi, it's mashma, that would work. Says Mishna Berura, loy chashiva, your hand is not a cover, the harosh v'ayad chad gufinon, the head and the hand is one body, v'eina guf yachal chasus atzmei, the body can't cover itself. What about it's a shas hatchak, you wake up in the middle of the night, your yarmulke fell into the proverbial black pit, and you have no idea where it is, you know? In the black pit are about a dozen pair of socks, a bunch of yarmulkes, maybe some car keys. You have no idea where the yarmulke is, and you want to drink. So we learned in Siman Beis of Kadmiyat Beis that there are those who are mekel that you could put your hand over your head. However, it's better to put your sleeve over your head. This way you have no issue. So put your pillow over your head if you need to drink. Because of habach, miu noyagin lahamshech habes yad shel habeged al ayad umechasa b'roshai. The Bach writes, the minog is to draw the sleeve of the garment and cover your head, and this is for sure considered a covering. Sifhei, layamoid be'a pundasai. Don't stand with your money belt. Taska balaz. V'loy beroish megula, not with an uncovered head. V'loy beraglai megulam, and not with barefoot. Im derech anshe hamakom shel yamdu lifnei hagdom elav b'atei raglaim. If where you live, it is not the derech to stand in front of important people unless you're wearing socks. Ichveis, if you live in Israel and the minhag is to show your toenails to other people, so then you could do so when you're standing in Tefillah. You know, if you're a MK and you go to the Knesset wearing sandalim, so you could daven wearing sandalim. If you live in New York, where if you do so, you would be considered uncouth, then you got to wear socks when you daven. Now, what's this deal with the money belt? Says Mishna Berura ba'apundasa, who ezer chol, it's a hollow belt, shemasim by most, you put money, ve'eno derech kaved lama kain lefnei Hashem yizbach. It's not nice to stand with a money belt before Hashem. Uma ani uma chayai to be moisif on the mechaber, but I would say also you're not allowed to daven with a cell phone on you. You can't daven with a cell phone on you. Recently I saw if you're holding a cell phone, I saw it's brought down in Poiskim already, that ain't tefillah nishmas. If you're holding a cell phone, could you have a wallet in your pocket? Yes, I think so. What's the difference between a money belt and a wallet? It sounds like the money belt is too in your face. You know, what would an example be? In other words, you can't daven holding a credit card machine, right? But a wallet you could have. I think it's more discreet.
Like a fanny pack.
Yeah, fanny pack. First of all, that's so 80s anyway. Like, come on, what generation are you in? You're wearing a fanny pack.
It's back in style.
Yeah, it's back in style? Okay. But, yeah, I would say fanny pack is similar to that. V'chein einochan l'spalel bekaftin ubeged atachdain oy b'shlufrak. A kaftin is like a house robe, or an undershirt, or pajamas. Don't daven in your flannel pajamas. Those are also out of style, but you shouldn't daven. That's not why you shouldn't daven in them. Megula, your head should not be uncovered. Uvizmanenu tzarich lahasim be'is hatfilah. Oh, sorry. Megula. Uvizmanenu, in our times, tzarich lahasim be'is hatfilah koiva beroishai kederech shahoylech barachayv. Says the Mishna Berura, nowadays, you need to wear, while you daven, a hat on your head the way you walk in the street. V'loi b'koiva hakatan shetachas hakoiva, not with the small hat, the yarmulke that you put on under the hat. Ki ein derech lamoid kein lifnei anashim chashuvim. If you had to make an appearance before an important person, you wouldn't just wear the yarmulke. V'chol shekain shlufmitz. Certainly, I guess the shluf kappel, with the pom-pom sticking out, that also not recommended to wear when you're davening. Now, this is very interesting. The Mishnah says that one should wear a hat when they daven. What's the reason for that? Is because that's the way you go in the street, and you would not make an appearance in front of an important person without wearing a hat. So, kayadua in the Olam HaYeshivos, this is something that they're very makbid about, based on the fact that whether Bizman Hazeh people still wear hats or not, they maintain there's a certain objective standard of how somebody would appear in front of an important person, whether that objective standard is or is not maintained due to societal reasons. On the other hand, perhaps you can make an argument that this imperative of wearing a hat is only because that's what is worn in the street, and that's what's worn if you had an important meeting. Bizman hazeh, because JFK took off his hat when he was inaugurated, nobody wears a hat anymore. You look at the old baseball game reels, everyone was wearing a hat in the stadium. Nowadays, nobody wears a hat even if they meet an important person. So, it seems like somewhat of a reasonable argument to say that one would not be halachically obligated to wear a hat when they daven. I did see that also Reb Simcha Bunim Cohen in his Sefer, in a footnote, he does write that Bizman Hazeh, it's not really, most people, in other words, at a business meeting, I don't really see anybody wearing a hat. The only people I know who wear a hat if they meet in front of important people is Rabbi David Hofstetter. You see these videos of him meeting with congressmen, he's wearing a hat. Maybe Rabbi Moshe Scherer wore a hat. But it's very rare. Even Orthodox activists who have to meet with the highest echelons of society, I don't think they wear a hat. Look, in the Knesset today, you have Haredi members. Do they wear a hat when they go to the Knesset? I don't think so. I really don't. And they have even Hasidim, and they wear the whole levush, but they don't wear a hat. So is that a reasonable argument? In all honesty, I think so. I do think so. Should you tell a yeshiva bachar he doesn't have to? No, that's the dress code of the Bnei HaYeshivas. That's their hiddur. There is something to be said for the fact that there's an objective standard of tznius, of covering your head. There's no question about that. We make a bracha. We do make a bracha. Oiter Yisrael b'sefara. Hashem crowns the Jewish people with glory. Some Rishonim say it's going on tefillin, but most learn it's going on a hat. It's not going on the yarmulke, it's going on a hat, which means there is an objective ideal of covering your head in a hat. Whether it has the same level, Bizman Hazeh, in all likelihood, it's not the same. Okay.
When you stand in front of a good one, you wear a hat, but when you stand in front of the other one,
true, but the barometer of how to dress when you daven is not what you would dress if you would stand in front of Rabbi Yashiv, or if you would stand in front of Reb Chaim Kanievsky. It's when the Mishnah Berura says, or the halacha says Adam Gadol, he doesn't mean someone on the Mayetzes Gedolei HaTorah. He means someone important. So you'll say, well, in our world, the only people who are important are Gedolei Yisrael. I don't know. Ask your Moira Derech. Okay, weiter. Don't daven just with stockings. Don't daven just with your stockings. Okay, you should wear pants also. It would be embarrassing to dress that way in front of Gedolim. 1 second. Oh, I was on the wrong page in the Dirsh. Let me see what he says. Question. What about a jacket? First I'm going to tell you my opinion, for whatever it's worth. I think you're mechuyev to wear a jacket. You're absolutely required to wear a jacket when you daven. Why? Nobody would go to a business meeting or make any important appearance if they weren't wearing a jacket. I understand, Bisman Hazeh, it's not the derech to wear a hat, but it definitely is the derech to wear a jacket if you make an important appearance. So he brings from the Kaf HaChaim that you do have to wear a jacket. Now, what if you come to shul and you don't have your hat and jacket? Should you daven with a minyan, or should you go get your hat and jacket? Says Rav Shlomo Zalman, if you normally daven with a jacket and a hat, you should not daven without it, unless you're going to miss minyan. If you're going to miss minyan, davening with a minyan is more important. Reb Chaim Kanievsky famously said that even if you're going to miss minyan, you should not daven without a hat and jacket. Rav Shlomo Zalman doesn't say that. Rav Shlomo Zalman said even without a jacket, you don't lose minyan to daven with a jacket. So I think that, I think that's the Ikar Hadin. The Ikar Hadin is you're required to wear a jacket, but you're not required to miss minyan to get a jacket. What about to drape your jacket over your shoulders? You know that look? The look, drape your jacket over your shoulders. So I would say like this: if you're trying to enter like a talent contest, you're trying to, trying to balance a jacket on your back, you could balance that. That's not called wearing it. The Chazon Ish says you could daven that way, even not in the summer. Rav Shlomo Zalman says you can't daven that way. If you would show up to any meeting, if I was hiring a guy, I was looking to hire a guy, and the guy walked in balancing his jacket on his shoulder, I would kick the guy out so fast I wouldn't even ask him his name. I would say you got the wrong room, Yeah, I think you got the wrong address. Anyway, it sounds like the Chazon Ish is more tolerant of that, but maybe in Bnei Brak, where it's over 100 degrees, I don't know.
We're comparing things to showing up to meetings versus, I show up to meetings with ties, so then I should have to go to daven and come with the tie?
Reb David Feinstein says yes. Yeah. Reb David said yeah. Reb David said you would be oimei lifnei gadol. Yeah. But is that normal? Is that typical? If somebody had an important meeting, would it be typical for them to put on a tie?
I'm not saying patients without a tie.
Yeah, but you'd also, as a doctor, you have a different set of begadim to see a patient. Don't you have like a white beged?
No, but I dress with a shirt and tie and whatever. Like I'm going to yeshiva. But the point is that it's the same. So if I take off my tie when I daven, so I'm seeing patients with the tie. But when I daven, I don't daven with the tie. So it'll be the same thing. I would have to give that to the cheshbon. Yeah, definitely. It's like a belt in a way. If you wear a belt the whole day, you got to wear a belt for davening. So if you wear a tie the whole day, and you say, well, now my job's over, I could take off the tie, it's probably more correct to keep the tie on. That would be societal. In Eretz Yisrael, they're not into ties.
And then if the jacket's either, they go to meetings without jackets most of the time.
In Eretz Yisrael? They don't have meetings. No.
Business world, not yeshiva world. It's two different things.
In the techie, I don't know. What do they do? You'll look it up.
They just wear shirts.
So maybe in Israel, if that's what they wear, then there's more room to say they don't have to wear a jacket, and many do not. In America, when people have an important meeting, they wear a jacket, they probably wear a tie, so that would be the guideline. Now, certainly not to wear sandals where the heel is uncovered. Don't wear gloves when you daven. Don't bring me to the leg of arrogance. And the hands of the wicked do not move me to. So in other words, maybe it was considered very proper to wear white gloves. Don't do that when you're down. It's masha that even gloves, stockings of wool alone are not correct. Haramam tikein shaloi likanes l'beis hakneses b'minalim arukim. Who's the haramam? Anyone have that in their Mishnah Berura?
Haram mitz.
Maram mitz. You have that there?
Mince with a nun. Mince. Yeah.
Maharam mince was masakin not to enter shul with long shoes. You know, these shoes that boot up to near the knee. V'hainu shtivel. Also, not with uncovered feet. Miu ima beged oroich. If the garment is long, that it covers the feet. Or a very hot place. You don't have to be concerned even if it's long garment and the feet could be seen. Basically, you should dress in a way that one would dress in front of an important person if they were meeting them. One more sif vav. Derech hachachamim v'salmideim shelo yispalu ela k'shem atufim. It is the manner of the sages and their students not to daven unless they're wrapped. What does wrapped mean? L'chara means their upper body and their head. Haga uve'es zam. At a time of anger, yesh l'chabek hayadayim b'shas hatfilah. One should embrace their hands in prayer, ka'avda kamemar, like a servant before their master. Uve'esh shalom. At a time of peace, yesh lehiskashet bevegadim noim lehispalo. You should adorn yourself with nice clothing to daven. So the manner of tefillah should reflect the mood of the time that you are in. All of the tefillah should be neskabel, barachim v'ratzain. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Shkayach.
Rabbi Glatstein.
Sure, yeah.
I heard the recording last night that the meeting of